Hello, hello. How's everybody doing tonight? Justin, Kevin, Lemire. Gonna give a minute for everybody to hop on in. Got the link posted up for anybody that wants to hop on the panel, ask questions, maybe discuss the oral argument that I released earlier today, about 6 hours ago. If you've had a chance to see it, Jenny, how are you? Audit them, John D, Sevenfold, Hawk fan for life. What's up? Hey, John. Yeah, there were some good arguments. There were a couple of things that I wanted them to touch on that they didn't. So we're going to go over those. Hey, you. I always like saying that. Big G. How's it going? I give it a couple minutes, like I said, guys. Let some more people get in here. See what we got going on. Futoy. What's up, Buzz? How you doing? APEC. 48. I think we have a quorum. Amen to that. There's the link there, guys, for anybody that wants to jump up on up. You can come on up, ask questions, whatever, talk about it. Gary, Wingspan, good to see you. Buzz, what's up, buddy? Did you see the video today? I don't want to be a copycat, but if you guys saw the video today, put a 1 in the chat. What's up, Gregory? Let's see who all seen the video. How you doing, Futoy, buddy? Futoy, you're muted, buddy. Can't hear you. Hey, J-Dub. Good to see you in the chat, buddy. All right, looks like everybody's seen the video. Night, how you doing, bud? Futoy, can you hear me? You're muted, buddy. We can't hear you. You might have to hop out and hop back in. South Bubba. Gregory, the video that I released today, my friend, the 11th Circuit.
Sorry about that. Yeah, my internet cut out when I was trying to come up. Talk about bad timing.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Good to see you, buddy. How are you?
Yeah, good to see you too, Rogue. Yeah, I'm good, thanks.
Good. And you've seen the video, right? I didn't see if you were in the chat.
I did, and yeah, I do have a question on it.
Yeah.
Something that confused me a little. Right,
Okay.
the officer's defense attorney, he said he referred to it as their building, right? And
Okay.
and right, it's public property, correct?
Yes, sir.
So then it seemed to be withheld, right, by your attorney and the judge that um, because it's public property, don't they need you to commit a crime for them to trespass you?
Well, yeah, you know what? I'm glad you asked me that because that was one of the issues that I wanted to touch on. Hey, Oklahoma Outlaw. There, I said your name. Haha. Um, so one of the issues that I wish they had touched on that they didn't was the order to leave the building, right? So
Right.
they were focusing on a lot of, well, it could have been criminal trespass because he was asked to leave the building. And when they quoted the statute and they said, it had to be a lawful order to leave, I wish they would have focused more on that lawful order, right? Because what you're saying is exactly right. So with public property, the cop just can't show up and they can't be just like, yeah, we asked him to leave and he didn't leave. There has to be a lawful reason for them to ask me to leave, right?
Right.
Because it's public, it's not private. So maybe, and I don't remember, but let's just say they were all, black ladies and they were, racist against a white guy, or let's say I was a black guy and they was all, Southern Alabama white women and they were all racist against the black guy. I mean, so the officer, when he gets there, he has to determine if it's even a lawful reason for them to ask me to leave, right? So it's not like
Yeah.
Walmart where they just come in and say, yeah, we don't like this guy because his hair's combed funny, so get him the hell out. Like there absolutely has to be no reason at all for them to trespass you off private property, but with public property, it's just a little bit different. So they're going to need some kind of lawful reason, right? Because otherwise, you could have retaliation by public servants against like ex, spouses or people they just didn't like in the community, right? Like if you,
Yeah.
let's say you're going to pay your utility bill, and the lady that uh does the utility payments, let's say she was a high school sweetheart that you slept with her sister, or you slept with her sister and her mom or something on one crazy wild night, and now she hates you for life, and so you go in there to pay your utility bill and you get trespassed, and because
Right.
she doesn't like you, obviously. And I mean, there's just, there's so many stuff that could go wrong in a scenario where, you could be trespassed in a public building for any reason. So that's one of the
Right.
main issues that I wish they would have touched on, my lawyers. Uh,
Yeah. I kind of see it as everything that happened in that video. Sorry, just before you go on. Hello, Rights. How's it going, my brother? Hope you're good.
What's up, my brother? Food
How's it
toy.
going, man? So,
Hey,
so,
what's up, bro? Thanks for having me on,
Thanks,
so,
buddy. Always good to see you, buddy.
so
I
I just
hardly
have,
see you anymore.
man.
so I just have like 2 points, right? One point is the rest of the case, the rest of that video wouldn't have happened if your lawyer had said they could ask him to leave till they're blue in the face. No crime was committed. End of discussion. So everything else that was said on that seemed to be hanging off the fact that if was it a crime, was it a lawful order? No, it wasn't. End of. Right? Rogue needed to commit a crime to be trespassed from that. Now I know what you're saying is correct. Sorry, just to finish up on my second point, is that what you're saying is right, but also, in my point of view, is that you're forced to pay for that building. It's your building. So how are they asking you to leave without you doing something wrong? Your hard-earned money, without a choice, goes to fund that building, right?
Right,
And
right.
and, they, and without you doing something wrong, they're asking you to go from it. But it's your building; it's public
That's a
property.
good point.
Exactly, Futoy. And you know that stuff like this only helps to illustrate the fact of what we're doing, right? And as you guys heard the defense attorney, the cop's attorney say at the end there, this is confusing. He goes, This is this First Amendment stuff. This is confusing, and we
Oh,
need to bring some. Go ahead, rights.
I was gonna say the disdain in which he said how you brought up Smith v. Cumming, like the established law in that same court, the
Right,
established case law.
right. That's precedent in that district there. So when he's complaining about me, oh, the officers, got uh, confused because he was bringing up his constitutional rights. Why would constitutional rights confuse an officer?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like
It's
it should
it's his
pretty
job.
cut. Right,
It's
right, and
literally his job.
it's pretty cut and dry too. As far as the limitations as far as recording goes. If there's no expectation of privacy, then the fact is you can be recorded, and that goes even for private businesses. I mean, that's where Project Veritas does the majority of their work, is in private businesses, bars and restaurants and stuff like that. That's where they do the majority of their recording at. So to say that and again, this is another point that we need to bring up in cases, I think, more often, is the fact that um, we could secretly record in a lot of these places where we openly record now, but we could secretly record in there, and there's absolutely nothing that they could do about it legally. Again, in most states, check your state laws for wiretapping, specifically the definition of oral intercept. But in a state like Florida, where you wouldn't be liable for an oral intercept unless there's an expectation of privacy, we could secretly record in these places and get the same information, quote unquote, that we supposedly get when we openly record. And there's absolutely nothing they could do about it. I mean, it would be impossible to know that we're recording at the time. And after we get home
Right.
and publish it, there's absolutely nothing they could do.
Right.
So,
I'm
you,
sorry,
you
Roy,
know,
just before we continue, just another angle on that is, just say somebody was secretly recording. How are they protecting anybody's information? If they can see it from if anybody can see it from a public area and record it, they're not protecting that information. That's on them.
correct,
Right?
correct. That's on them. And another point that needs to be made in these cases, I think, is that even if I caught somebody's name and social security number on camera, that's not illegal, right? It's not
Right.
illegal for me to have somebody's social security number. If that was the case, I mean, I could go into like Discord servers I didn't like and type out my social security number and have everybody in the Discord server arrested, right? Because
Right.
they all know my social security number now, right? They've got my social security number. It's against the
Right.
law,
Right.
but that's not against the law. Hey,
It's what you
reluctant
do with it.
prophet. Yep. Yeah, reluctant prophet. We're talking about the Metz versus Bridges case. I posted the audio from the oral arguments in the 11th Circuit this morning, a couple hours ago. It was my last video. You can check that out if you like.
I also wanted to point out something about that video. Something else super ridiculous is how the cop's defense attorney tried to say, "Oh, and he said he's from Bolt Action News."
Oh yeah, that was so pathetic. That was so cringe.
Yeah, that really was. And the judge on the panel was like, "Oh, so anybody that's a journalist, it's reasonable suspicion now."
Let me tell you how that Bolt Action News group came out. Back in the day, there's this small channel called Lightning Dave, Pinellas Cop Watch, Audits, Transparency, something really long. And he's like, "I want to change my name, man." I'm like, "Yeah, you need something shorter." "Yeah, what do you suggest?" I'm like, "Well, you're a Lightning fan, like the Tampa Bay Lightning, so go Bolts." I said, "Dude, call it Bolt Action News." He's like, "No, that's stupid." I said, "All right, I'll take it." News House in Florida told me, "Hey, why don't you add a G to the end of that to make it bang?" And I was like, "That's a brilliant idea."
Yeah.
But at no point was I like, "Yeah, let's grab our guns and start a news group."
Yeah.
That was it.
That was really pathetic.
My
Like,
impression
oh my
of
God.
Dave and Paul.
Like, how is the judge not like, this is what you've got?
Right.
This is what you're coming at me with?
Another thing to point out and to keep in mind, this is like the top law firm of Alabama who is defending these cops.
No, that was the last lawsuit. That was the last.
Oh,
lawsuit.
was it the last one? Oh, okay, my bad.
Yeah, no, this guy James Pike, he's actually the city attorney for Dothan, Alabama.
Oh boy.
So yeah, and for those that don't know, Dothan is dirty as hell, like dirty, dirty. I got another buddy. I got a couple of buddies up there um, that have been battling with Dothan forever now. My one buddy I did a story on. He used to be a fireman there in Dothan, and he busted his boss selling automatic weapons out of the firehouse. Had evidence, everything. I mean, this guy's meticulous. He really does a great job. His name's Ken, and or not Kim, excuse me, Sam. I'm thinking of my other buddy there, but um, he was retaliated against for 23 years. He had he'd been arrested a number of times, I think upwards of 20 times, illegally arrested, and all charges dismissed. He was assaulted by the police upwards of 11 times, including broken nose, broken ribs, and all this stuff he had documented. Guy's really smart. So what would happen is they would arrest him and beat him, and they would take him to the jail, and they wouldn't allow anybody to see him or anything, so he couldn't document his injuries. So what he started doing was saying that he was having a mental episode, and they would send him up to see the nurse upstairs, and she happened to be sympathetic to his cause, so she would document every time he would come in with these injuries. So he had all this documentation. They kept him out of city council meetings. I mean, it was really crazy what they did to this guy. Again, all because he exposed his boss selling, firearms out of the fire station there. But
It's crazy.
yeah, just amazing.
Yeah.
And there's been all kinds of other stuff, stories out of Dothan. The cop that had all those drugs in his car for like 3 years. Just all kinds of bad stories that have come out of that place, just totally corrupt. But yeah, these guys, they don't want to give anything, as far as when they violate your rights. I mean, it's got to be really, really blatant. It's got to be on TV. There's got to be a national outcry for you really to even, get, any kind of serious payment, and anything else, they're going to fight you tooth and nail for, we've been going on this case for 3 years now. Save the humans. I didn't see. What's up, buddy? Gio, what's up? Brick, what's up? John, always pleasure. Cammed up.
You see, that's the thing, Rogue. Though, I can't say I don't. I'm not trying to badmouth your lawyers, right? I'm not. I really am. But it just shows how much auditors know more than most people do. Because I think probably when people go and get a lawyer who's going to fight their case, they need to sit down and make sure the lawyer understands the Constitution and all the. Because how can the case go on if they cannot trespass you, whether they ask you to or not? If they cannot, then definitely it was an illegal detainment. Then definitely it was an illegal search, because they cannot trespass you. So there is no grounds for anything, or as they were playing around with their words, what is it he said? But anyway, I don't want to get off the point. The point is that if your lawyer had have established that they cannot trespass you, there was no chance of that trespass, then everything else is just goes away, does it not?
Yeah, it does.
Right. So yeah, we you need to sit down with the lawyers and explain everything to them. You need to really be involved in your case. I'm sure you are, Rogue. Maybe you didn't expect that one. I don't know. But what could the judge say? What could their attorney say? Nothing. They can say nothing. The detainment was unlawful, and so was the search, because you were there lawfully. You had not committed any crime. There was no suspicion of crime, right? Just because he didn't know that you couldn't be trespassed doesn't mean he had reasonable suspicion. He's just not educated enough on the Constitution, on his job, basically.
Right?
So how can that be your fault? Why are they punishing you for that? For his misunderstanding of his job, right?
Right. And, there's a couple of things there definitely to unpack. John had another question there. It says, why are they saying they can detain you for an hour and it's not an arrest? See,
2092. Good to see you, Double Dog. That's the
this
guy
is
who picked me up at jail when I was arrested 4 years ago.
Oh, very cool.
oh nice. Hey, Allie. The law is so convoluted that they can make it go either way for them in a lot of instances. So they can say, well, like my lawyer quoted that there was an incident where someone had been in handcuffs for 24 hours and they weren't considered to be arrested. Of course, there's been other times where people have been in handcuffs for an hour and they've been considered arrested. So
Right.
they make it so convoluted and so many escape hatches.
Yeah. I
And
think the judge did agree with you, though, that it was an arrest, though. Right, I think he did agree with that. I think he did say that at one point in the video. Yeah, that was it's an arrest. Handcuffs and can't leave. It's an arrest. I think he said that. But but also he asked your attorney. Sorry to harp on about this, but it's for me, it's the whole case and lynches on that, right? The judge said to your attorney, so you agree, or whatever word he used, you concede that that if they asked you to leave and you didn't leave, it was criminal trespass. And the attorney said yes. If he agreed with them on that point, and he was wrong as well. The three of them were wrong on that point.
Hey,
well, he was.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, bud.
No, it was off topic, so go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, okay. You got a boogie?
Yeah, I got to get out of here, but I know I just got here, but I just got a text. I just wanted to ask the chat if if you guys would be interested in seeing Rogue Nation and myself do a storage unit, like doing storage.
Hell yeah!
All right.
Hell yeah, that'd be awesome.
On that happy note, type 1 if you want to see that.
Hell yeah, type 1.
For me, brother.
See you later, right? Have a good one, mate.
Right.
So even your lawyer was misinformed, I'm afraid.
What unfortunately, what he was talking about is how a trespass warning works, but again, that's if you've been asked lawfully to leave, right? If you've been asked lawfully to leave, you're supposed to be given a chance to leave, and then you can leave. If not, then you can be arrested. That's the way it goes. Again,
Yeah,
but
but
it
you see,
has to be lawful.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. But you see, the judge asked him, he said, so if the police officer knew that he was asked to leave, right, before he came, and
right,
and you didn't leave, does that give him
probable
they were playing
cause, suspicion.
Yeah, but they added a word onto it, which I never heard. Well, I heard it before, but they added a word onto it.
Arguable reasonable suspicion.
That's it. Arguable, right? So he
Right.
said, would you concede that he had arguable? No, because there was no crime committed. You were lawfully there. And the law and the Constitution is protecting you from exactly this. If you bring it up, like, because you're not committing a crime, you pay for the building, you have the right to be there, you have the right to record, you have the right not to have your person searched, searches or seizures. You have all these rights. Everything is on your side, right? But the judge got your lawyer to say, yeah, if the policeman knew, then he would have. No, he wouldn't. I personally, that's what I think. But I mean, maybe I'm saying it wrong. Help me out here.
Well, again, that's the thing is that they have all these escape hatches to remove liability for themselves. Like, okay, before I started suing, I had never heard of arguable reasonable suspicion, right? I'd only heard of
Right.
reasonable suspicion and probable
Right.
cause. Well, when you get to court, you find out, hey, there's this other standard called arguable reasonable suspicion.
Right.
It's even lower than reasonable suspicion.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And it's just like, oh my God, is there no end to the fuckery that we
Yeah.
have to deal with in order to vindicate our rights, in order to uphold the damn law?
No,
Like,
yeah, yeah, but it's still not strong enough. It's still not good enough to subdue your your constitutional rights to be there. It still doesn't take that away. You can have maybe, probably arguable on a good day with a full moon suspicion. You know what I mean? You still have
right.
your right.
And John, hold on, let me say, John James, my lawyer did argue for detainment and not arrest, in that he argued that I was not under arrest, um, because with the arrest, um, because there's an exception to the search, right? It's the search incident to arrest is what they're talking about. Now, the problem with that, and again, this is something I wish they would have brought up, um, and I don't know why they didn't bring it up, but there was no search incident to arrest, right? A search incident to an arrest is a search that is conducted on whoever's been seized. And basically, it's looking for two things: it's looking for weapons for officer safety, of course, and it's looking for evidence that is related to the crime that could be destroyed or gotten rid of before it makes it to the jail, right? Like, sometimes people hide drugs in their underwear, or,
Right.
whatever the evidence may be. They want to secure it before they put you in the back of the car, so you can't, get a chance to destroy it or shove it up your butt or whatever, they think's going to happen with it. Because once you get to the jail, you're going to be searched again anyway, and it's going to be a much more thorough search. You're going to strip down all that shit. So it's a limited search, the search incident to arrest. But that's not what happened in my case, right? He wasn't looking for weapons. He wasn't looking for evidence of a crime of trespassing. What kind of evidence of a crime of trespassing are you going to find in my ass crack, right? None, right? Like,
Exactly.
right? So, and you could see in the video, and he even admits it in the body cam video from Sergeant Evans, that they searched me for ID, and that's all it was, and that's what he wanted, the ID to write the report. I told him no. He told me to stand up. He fished in my pockets, front and back. He said, "You don't have ID, do you?" I said, "No, I don't." And then he sat me down. He got over to bad cop, no donut, and he did the same thing. The only search he conducted was inside my pockets for my ID, which is not a search incident to an arrest. It's just the cop butthurt because I wouldn't give him ID,
Right.
and he thinks, well, he's in cuffs. I'll just stand him up and get his ID out of his wallet because I'm a tough guy.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then he realized that that shit didn't fly. That
Yeah.
seagull was shot down.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's what you got there with
It
that,
was definitely all illegal. It was definitely all illegal. Like, but yeah, the judge should know this. The judge should know this. He has the chance to review the case. He has the chance to look up all the laws. You know what I mean? He's supposed to be experienced. He's supposed to know that they can't do this to you.
Well, you would think,
Absent of
but
a crime.
well, here's the thing, though. Here's what you gotta remember. Now, see if you can follow this logic. Okay, everybody in the country is citizens, right? We're all
Okay.
citizens. The cops, the judges, the politicians. Everybody's citizens of the United States. Hey, Gypsy, I haven't said hey yet, but hey, how you
Hey,
doing, buddy?
Dixie.
let me finish this real quick, and then pop on. But we're all citizens, right?
Right.
And one of the main tenets of our society is that the citizens should know the laws, right? Ignorance of the
Right.
law is no excuse. We all need to know the law, right? We're supposed to obey the law. We have to know the law.
Unless you're law enforcement.
Well,
That's the
that's what
caveat.
that's what I'm getting at. This is the logic that we're dealing with, right? So the logic goes, we have to know the law until we go to work as a police officer. And
Right.
then when we take a job enforcing the law that we should know, then we can not know the law, right? So when we put on the uniform, we actually technically get dumber, right? Like putting on the uniform makes us dumber, right? Because as a citizen, I have to know all the laws, right?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the way it is.
Yeah.
So how, when I put on these pants and shirt, all of a sudden am I allowed to forget what I'm supposed to know?
Yeah. The
That,
ego
that
shoots up and the knowledge of the law shoots down.
right. So that is the logic that we're dealing with when you're talking about the judicial system, because this is the logic that they espouse, right? It's okay for a cop not to know the law. If it was a good faith effort, you know what I mean? Where's the citizens' good faith effort to know the law, right?
Right. Yeah.
We're so
Hey,
and
Brick.
yeah, and in a lot of instances, it's just a backward system, and that's why it's so hard, and that's why when people say, well, oh, you're not fighting for rights, or we already have these rights and we don't have to fight for them. And man, looky here. And I did a program a couple of videos back talking about the public forum doctrine, and how the first case that really dealt with the situation in 1897, that Davis case, was where a gentleman was trying to get a permit to practice free speech in a public park in the Boston Commons, right? The same Boston Commons with Glick versus Knuff. That same Commons, 100 years before Glick, you couldn't speak freely in that park. And the Supreme Court said, no, we don't. The state legislature doesn't have to make that public property open for public discourse. You know what I mean? So that
Yeah.
was just 100 years ago. So yeah, you got to fight for rights, even though that was 100 years after the Bill of Rights was passed. I mean, hell, most people don't realize that before the 14th Amendment was passed, the Bill of Rights didn't protect anybody from state actors. So if you were in Georgia, state of Georgia, whatever agency you went to, let's say the DMV, they could violate your first right, First Amendment, Second Amendment, Third Amendment, Fourth Amendment. They could violate all that, and there wasn't shit that you could do about it. Not until the 14th Amendment and that due process clause, which made it apply, the Bill of Rights apply to all the citizens in all the states, because before the 14th Amendment, the Bill of Rights only applied to federal citizens on federal property. Didn't apply to state citizens uh, under state action. It had to be the federal government that violated you in order for you to have an action there on your First Amendment, that kind of thing, until the 14th Amendment. So not a lot of people realize that. They think that and I know Brick's up here now. How you doing, Brick? Good to see you. A lot of
Hey, Brick.
people a lot of people think that the Bill of Rights are our natural rights, our God-given endowed rights. Um, so it intrigues them to know that the states could violate those rights without no problem for 100 years after they were passed.
Yeah.
So
You're breaking up. You're clipping, Brick. You might still clipping.
Still clipping, buddy.
Can you hear me, guys?
Yeah, Gypsy, you're good.
Hello, brother. Hello, Rogue. How are
Gypsy,
Hey,
you, man?
Gypsy,
what's going on, brother?
how's it going?
I've got a crazy update to one of my videos, and I was just wondering if I could share it to you, Rogue, and to everybody on here. Hello, Fatoy.
Hey, man.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So basically, one of my videos is from Birmingham, here in the UK. I was filming a trading estate. This lady, I don't know if any of you have seen it. Basically, she come out. She called me and another auditor horrendous names. Anyway, police were called. She got done for assault. She lost her job. This video is crazy. It's got over 50,000 views. It's gone viral. It's hit the local newspaper of her area. Do you know what I mean? They've offered me compensation and everything to have this video taken down. And they contacted me the other day, again, offering me £1,000 to take my video down because I made everyone leave a review to the company. And this what made her lose her job, which I didn't actually want to happen. It was a crazy lady. Like, I can't really explain how insane she was. She got an air horn and tried to like pull it in my face.
Wow, that's like assault, isn't it?
Yeah, but she pushed the guy I was with as well. She
Hey, double up.
she went crazy. Like, this is the craziest woman I've ever seen. And yeah, like I said, her company contacted me, offered me £1,000 to remove my video off YouTube. The update is obviously that is the new update where they've offered £1,000. Like, I've never had that before, where they've offered a massive chunk of money. It's bad publicity for them. All of my subscribers must have left 1,000 reviews on their, against the company's name.
Yeah.
They've been losing a lot of business, but I didn't expect this video to ever achieve that. And I would really ask Rogue and a few of the American guys I know to please share this video out and get it out there more, to show that these tyrants and this tyranny that we're dealing with just from filming in public land, whatever country you're in, it's not normal to act like this woman did, calling me a paedophile, calling me this, trying to assault me. But because I'm a man, I would never ever assault a lady. And that's what it proved in this video, that a real man, under all of this drama, never ever hurts a woman. And on top of that, we just let the tyrants play out and give the entertainment to the viewer. So I would appreciate if Rogue could check that out.
Is that one of your new ones on there?
Let me break it down. The name of it. It's called "The Worst Woman I've Ever Come Across." Police are called.
All right, yeah, I'll definitely check that out, brother.
Now listen, Rogue, I love you, man, and well done on hitting 100K.
Thank
I'm
you,
always
sir.
watching you, man.
I love it. Thank you, buddy.
You deserve it, man. You know your stuff, and you inspire a lot of people. And I always watch you and listen to a lot of you and NC Tyrant Hunter and GGA and Rights, and a lot of you helped me in my early days. I'm very close to 30,000 subscribers now. We got a lot of love. We got a lot of brands writing to us. We're doing really good, but I'm here to really help others as well. So a lot of the smaller channels, I help behind the scenes, and I just thought I'd reach out to obviously I've got a 30% American audience, but obviously you, Rogue, I know you chat to a lot of the guys, and this video is so insane and so entertaining from 30 seconds in the video that it's worth looking at and just understanding that the power of the people. Thanks to my viewers, this lady lost her job, which I didn't really want, to be honest with you. I don't really have fun watching a woman lose her job. But the way she acted and the way the company have contacted me a couple of times now to get this video removed, they know they've done massive wrong. You know, and
Well,
I revisited
what
this
did the
place.
company do that was wrong?
Well, obviously, when we were there, the lady was obviously full on assaulting us. They were
Yeah,
just
so
standing
it
there
was the
laughing
lady
and
though,
recording
right?
us.
It was the lady, not the company,
No, they
right?
were watching. There was a lot of the company workers watching us and
Right.
recording us, laughing at how she was being and what she was
Oh,
calling
okay.
us.
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
revisit. Yeah, they were
Yeah.
horrendous for a toy.
I,
They were horrendous.
I'm gonna check it out for sure. For sure.
Yeah, so it's called The Worst Woman I've Ever Come Across. Police are called, and it's just very close to 50,000 views. And I released it
Yeah.
September.
All right, man. But just to get back onto the topic though, what do you did you listen to Rogue's case today?
I obviously with Rogue, he's very technical, and it takes me a long time to fully take in what he's saying. Right now, the Bill
It,
of Rights and all the
it's
stuff
like
he's.
yeah, it's like his superpower, isn't it?
Oh my God, he's learnt me so much. It's hard, man, sometimes to take it all
Yeah,
in.
yeah. I must say I have learned a whole lot from you
I have
too,
to
Rogue.
take notes.
Yeah, yeah,
I thank you guys, but I think the best thing that I can teach anybody is just to, research it yourself
Yeah.
and learn your mind, because that's really where the fuckery goes on, and is our
Yeah.
minds. And I
yeah,
know it's hard to believe sometimes that we could have been fooled, or that we could have been misled, or it's a hard pill to swallow. It really is. We all have egos,
Hmm.
and we all like to say maybe sometimes we're smarter than we are, or just the ego. We all have it. So it's important that we check that, and realize exactly what's going on in our mind, where our thoughts come from. you know um, Spend more time, I guess I could say, in our mind, and less time on the boob tube, or on
yeah.
the
Co-
Xbox or something. Until we get it figured out, until we know, until we get that Zen like understanding.
You're
Because
clever, man.
yeah, really, because that's where it all starts, and that's where it all ends. Everybody in life is looking for the truth, and
Yeah.
everybody's having a hard time finding it. And it's always going to be the truth is going to start with us. And the old saying, garbage in, garbage out, right?
Yeah.
So if the government has implanted the wrong, what's known as core beliefs,
Hmm.
then a lot of the other beliefs that come from that core belief are going to be bad. And so it's garbage in, garbage out. you know so I'll give you a perfect example. A core belief might be, like, for us here in America, a core belief might be that we're free. The government wants to protect us. The
Crazy.
government loves us. Never hurt us. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? That
Crazy
kind
shit.
of, right, that kind of core belief, patriotism. And it's not just with America. A lot of countries push that same narrative.
We have
You
it
know what
here,
I mean?
Rogue, with the royal family. We have it
Right.
here, and I
Right.
don't believe in
So
it, obviously.
exactly. So it's that patriotism, it's that nationalism,
Yeah.
and it's the you're in the best place, and we're the best because of this reason, and yada yada yada. So when we have core beliefs like that, it's not hard to understand where we get bootlickers from, right? Because
Yeah.
people have been ingrained to believe that the system here is set up for them, for their
But
benefit.
we're
And
insane, Rogue, because we're fighting against it. We're called the insane ones.
right, right, because now we're a self-policing society, because
Yeah.
now there's generations of bootlickers, right? And
You're right.
and and you know and people love to take their personal experiences and use them as the foundation of a lot of their beliefs, right? Like,
Yeah.
well, I know, 5 cops, and, they're all, really good guys, and, they'd never hurt anybody. And I've never, I hang out with them and their wives. I've never seen or heard them beat their wives or anything. So I don't know how any cop could be bad, right? And I'm thinking to myself, dude, that's like point zero 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 point
Yeah.
1% of the fucking, you know, police population there. So that's a small sample size. That's, you know what I
But
mean?
that's
But
their
that,
interpretation, and then that's their
of
belief, and
course,
it's
of,
strong. And we're
right,
changing it, and we're trying, man. We got to
Yeah,
keep
right.
pushing it.
And
can
well,
I give
what?
an
Yeah, go
example
ahead,
of?
Foot.
Thanks, man. Of a different way of it. Yeah, there's that, but there's also another thing. Like, and I'll give an example which happened to me. It's a true story, right? I had my vet, and my dog was sick, and they were full that day, so I had to bring her to another vet. So I brought her to a vet that I never went to before, and the vet took tests and everything. I'll bring a picture of my dog. This was her, and
Oh,
she was a brindle boxer, right? And she took blood tests and everything. She came back. She called me back in. She said the dog has cancer through half her body. She's going to
oh,
have operated. Half her body is going to be have to be operated on. It's a huge operation and all this. And I was in bits. I seriously, it was a shock. I was in bits.
yeah, I would be.
But then I said, look, to myself, well, I want my vet to do it. You know what I mean? So I made an appointment when they were free to my vet, and I brought it to my vet, and my vet double checked the tests, and they said she doesn't have cancer at all.
Oh my, I'm not shocked, brother. It's people money grabbers as well. A lot of them want
Right?
money from you.
But in my mind, I would never have doubted until that happened. I would never doubt a vet. In
It's
my mind,
horrible.
vets were great people who are just there to look after
No,
your
it's a
animals.
broken system, man.
Yeah. So am I thinking, is it the same thing with some people and cops? They just
Yeah,
don't. They don't. It doesn't click with them that they can be bad until it happens to them.
but that's the
Well, that
the trolls and bootlickers. They're deep
right,
rooted.
and that no,
Sound check.
that's
Sound check.
Yeah,
We
it's
good now?
good. Yeah, you're
yeah.
good, bro.
We can hear you now.
Very good. Yeah, man. Rogue, appreciate you letting me up. Number one. Yeah, I'm kind of newer to kind of the quote unquote movement or whatever, and I'm really appreciative of the whole whatever you want to call it community. Everybody's on board with ensuring that our rights in the future do not get violated. There is
Sure.
a learning process that has to happen, and certainly, your cases and the things that you've shown people. I can see that you're definitely in tune with that. Certainly appreciative of that. Took a little bit of time and kind of reviewed a little bit about your case there. And yeah, it's an interesting thing. I consider some of the statutes and stuff that the quote unquote laws that they like to put in. But I noticed that it goes a little bit deeper than that, even with the case law too, right? So it's not just that the legislators are putting in ridiculous code, statutes, ordinances. It's that these judges, these self-appointed rulers, tend to want to be the arbiters of what they mean, and they tend to side with the police,
Yeah.
and they don't side with us, the people, and it's very sad. It's as if they're not satisfied with their stipend. The people do take care of them.
It's all over the country, Brick. Like here in the UK, brother. Yeah. Like
Yeah.
they think we're just tea and crumpets, right? And I get it. Like, but trust me, like all of these thousands of subscribers later I've got, I'm still beating the drum, and it's a hard process. You in the US, you guys lead the way. Yeah, we're still catching you here, but here in the UK, we are no fools or no mugs. And even in Ireland and Wales and Scotland, like we're all fighting here for the people to be free. That's all it is, freedom. And to be taught in schools, we need this taught early to the children. I've got 5 children. They need to
Yeah.
learn your rights are very important, and
Yeah,
we
exactly.
have rights. We
Yeah,
can stand. We can fight.
We are where they get their money from, right?
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
who we are to them.
It's the education, you know,
Yes.
and I know that there's a huge problem with that. The self-appointed rulers, the ones who claim that they can interpret the law and all that, and the ones that are voted in, they've decided that they're going to determine what is appropriate within the education system.
It's controlled, brother, isn't it? It's all controlled.
But what's left out seems to be the law or the statutes, codes,
But
ordinances.
we're here to fight that, brother. Like, trust
Right.
me, this 1A movement, and for years in the US, but
That's
even
right.
in the UK for the last, I think, 13 years, boys have done it. I've only been going 3 years. And from my community, the traveller community, I'm the first to ever do it. So I'm bringing a new audience as well. But people like Fatoy, Rogue Nation, yourself, we've all got power. There's power in us, and we need to unite and show, even across the world, we are not no mugs. We're the movement of the independent press. We are the real people, and people will follow us. And we've got to keep fighting, man. And you're new, but it's fantastic to see so many. There's 1,000 auditors here in the UK now. So you got to understand, look how many there is across the world as well. When we all push together, change will happen. We just need to do it more peacefully. And you may see protests all around the world and demonstrations, but if you do them peacefully, you're going to make more of a change. We need to unite in a peaceful manner. And you can see a massive change, man. Change your people's minds. We need to hit the people that watch the TV. Because I don't watch the TV anymore. You separate yourself from that stupid TV and the narratives, and you start seeing more freedom every day, man.
Yep, that's exactly right, man. That's part of the reason why I'm, starting to pick up certain things, and, knowing that I need to go, read the statutes and that sort of thing, knowing that I need to go look at the case law, especially the freshest cases, like Rogues, for instance, knowing what lengths these people will go to keep their power, so that people are miseducated,
But it's
and
conquer and divide. But the thing is, yeah, people like Rogue, people like Ruts Crispy, people like NC Torrent Hunter, San Quinn, all the others, the audit, all these massive channels, they're helping everybody. And we need to take in what they're saying, implement it, and put it into our videos as well. Because people like Rogue Nation, he's a very, very clever man, and I've learned loads from him. I've only been going 3 years, but like all of these millions of views are irrelevant. I have. It's the education that's the key, and strip it back, get out on the streets, keep pushing this movement, because I believe this movement. I'm already in a documentary over this movement here in the UK. There's more films coming out, and films are the way forward. I believe, like getting on these big social media things like Netflix, Amazon Prime. If we can start getting our shit on there, then we're going to hit the majority of the audience, the big population. But we need to keep uniting, and we can do anything together, man.
yeah, I love the camera. I love it.
Me too, man.
Like 20, 30, 40 years ago, it wasn't like this,
The new era. It's the new era, man.
Yeah, I'm an 80s baby, right? So
I'm 90s, so you're a little bit.
Yeah, grew up in the 90s, there were cameras, but it wasn't like right there in your hand, ready to go live. Anybody
That's
can
what
see
I'm
it.
saying, man. But look at the cameras in the UK. We have the most CCTV per popular. Like the UK is the most CCTV country in the world. Why? Because trust me, here in the UK, there's massive changes that are coming, and it's from the 1A movement. I mean, audit in Britain, here in the UK, has really done a massive, powerful job here. And then we got others as well, massive channels here. We're not as big as the US, but we are following you guys very strong. And I love the US, and I love my 30% audience I have. But I love the US leads the way.
Auditing North Korea didn't do so well.
I mean, I wouldn't do that, would you? Fuck that.
Your mic broke, Rogue. We can't hear you if you're talking. Can't hear you, Rogue.
I hate StreamYards, you know, for the signal. Always the same, man. That's why I do YouTube lives.
Can you hear me?
There it is. Well, it broke.
No, we did, but you broke again. You're gone again.
How about now?
There
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's I don't know. For some reason, it's my signal in the house. Like, I don't know, but yeah, if there's anything I think that I would like people to know out of all the videos I've done is to learn about your mind. I think that's the most important thing that we can pass on
Yeah.
to our youth, to our neighbors, anybody, because once you can take information and decipher what's true and what's not based on common sense, what you know about how things work, perhaps in certain aspects, uh, through unbiased research, um, things like that, it becomes a lot easier. So you're able to see, like almost like someone was talking about the Matrix earlier, but it's almost like Neo being able to see the code
Mhm.
a lot better, when you're versed in that, um, and you're into that mindset. So, has anybody on the panel ever heard of a thing called neuro-linguistic programming?
No.
No.
Not heard of it, but it sounds like what it sounds like, probably.
Mm.
Right. So, neuro-linguistic programming is a psychological technique to influence people. And there's a guy actually from the UK. His name's Darren Brown.
Yeah, I've heard of him.
Yeah, you can find him. Yep, you can find
Trains
him
the
on.
brain, doesn't he? He trains the brain.
Right, right. And basically what he does is he programs people's brains.
Yeah.
And he does it on the fly, and he does it very well and quickly. Like
Do you believe
you'd
in
be
that technique then, Rogue? What he does?
oh oh, absolutely,
Oh, I'll look into that
absolutely.
more then. I'll study
Yeah,
him more.
yeah. As a matter of fact, it's been shown to be happening on the mainstream news.
Yeah,
But
of
I
course.
I got I got a book. It's in the back of my car. I got it out of my storage unit. I was going to let Rice Crispy read it, but
Yeah.
it's a hardcover red book, and I found it just by chance. I was looking at a thrift store, and I came across it, and it's called The Winning Edge, and it's a book by a lawyer and a psychologist,
hmm
and it talks about how to implement NLP into trials and such like that. And so basically what NLP is vocal suggestions along with visual suggestions, usually like moving the arms or the hands, or sometimes even touching you.
Yeah.
um so it's
Sounds
it,
like
it
the Jedi mind trick. Where he
almost
goes, these are
almost
not the droids you're looking for, and he waves his arm. Do you remember that bit?
right.
Yeah.
It's almost pretty much like that, but it takes more than just that, and it's um
Is it kind of like propaganda on steroids?
yeah, I guess you could say
It,
Yeah.
it's like retraining the
propaganda.
brain. It seems to be like you're retraining, taking it back to basics, and you're trying to,
Right,
Or
you know,
robot
right,
get
chicken?
off this shit you have in your mind. Like I do this for the gym. Like when I go gym, because obviously I've lost a load of weight. I've lost nearly 5 stone in
let me,
4 months. by retraining my brain, stripping out all the negative and all the negative habits and putting them into a positive light.
Pretty good.
But like I do believe like retraining your brain is very powerful into all the bad habits, and because you got to look at it like this, yeah. I have 5 children now. If you watch how children move, that they don't take things in, they move on quick. But I believe, I know it's crazy to say, as adults, if we retrained our brain to how we was when we were young, we were free.
Yeah, not to like overthink, but rather
Exactly. No
just take in the good
overthinking.
information, leave out what is bad.
Yeah,
As Rogue was pointing to earlier.
as a child, like as you teach your children, you'll notice they would only take in a little bit, and they just move on quick, and they just focus on the good, and they're always happy. For me, yeah.
Or
But
maybe even like cramming for an exam, like so with the law and the case law and that sort of stuff, right? So because we live in a nation, wherever we live at, we're going to live in a nation of laws, generally speaking.
yeah, but listen, but the thing is, we can always fight, like in a peaceful manner. Like our rights are very important. We can teach if they're not going to be taught in schools. Like I'm teaching my oldest now, he's nearly 13. He come with me the other day to auditing and filming. He was filming some police, and like it's important for him to understand how powerful the camera is, and you can do this wherever you want. You can film in public land. Here in the UK, we're freedom of expression. We can film anything, and just telling them and showing them the great work that the American One Amendment auditors do, like Rogue and NC, and there's hundreds of you. But it's all about teaching your children, because when you're young, you don't understand. You hit a certain age, and then you start being controlled. You don't realise it. But it's down to us as the parents to break them out of that and give them the freedom.
And I feel like too, because this is kind of in the baby stages. The camera is pretty much new to history anyway, but it's really new to be out there in the public, so prevalent. Even if it takes 100 years, it's worth it.
But it's going to do it. It's going to change it, man. Like, but with this technology, though, like I said, I've already been in a documentary, me and a few other boys here in the UK. It ain't going to be long until Rogue and others get on the TV. And I mean, I know Accountability for All has already done a little bit. He's a nice guy, Josh. But like, it's not going to be long till Netflix and all these big platforms start reaching out, and we're getting on there, and that's when we're going to hit the mainstream, and that's when changes will happen, I believe.
Yeah, I believe that too.
People have to listen. I think it ain't going to take long. I think within the next year or two.
There was a movie, right, where everybody on the planet was judged by. So anything you did, right, that was unusual was filmed by everybody around you walking in the street or wherever, or in schools or in political places, everywhere, right? And then the world would watch and judge you on that. So
that's crazy, Phil. What's that called?
I can't remember. I wish I got the name of it, actually.
Yeah, I would have watched it
again.
I know a show called Black Mirror that's kind of like that.
Yeah, Black Mirror. Yeah.
And if you did something wrong, the whole world would judge you, and then you would be like, you know what I mean, ostracized.
That's insane. That sounds a good film for toy.
Well, it's kind of what's happening in China. In China, you get a social score, right? This is kind of off topic, though.
Yeah.
Sorry, Rogue brought up something there.
He's going on down.
You guys hear me?
He loves the UK, Rogue does. He's always promoting the UK.
We can hear you now, Rogue, yeah.
5x5.
All right. Yeah, so I got this Darren Brown video. I want to see if I can play it. So let me know if you guys can hear it.
All right.
All of us can be influenced through psychological techniques. For example, if I say, don't think of a black cat, what do? You think of a black cat because the command, think of a black cat, was there in the sentence.
It's choppy.
Like this can be used.
It's very choppy, yeah.
Your signal's bad.
Excuse me. We're doing a documentary on the underground. Can I ask you what stop you're getting off at? Warren Street, excellent. Can I sit with you just for 2 seconds? All right. The documentary is sort of about how easily trains of thought can become confused, and you can have a piece of information that you know that you should know, and suddenly it's just literally just gone from your mind like that. So what was the stop you're getting off at? Look at me, what was the stop you were getting off at?
Rogue, it's very choppy. Do you want me to try to play it?
Yeah, were you?
Bad. It's working a little bit though in the end, but it's a little bit. You are right. It's all over the place.
Yeah, it's just choppy.
Have you got bad weather
Yeah.
there in the US at the minute?
I
One
don't
second,
know what
mate.
it is. I should be getting a good signal, but I don't know.
So annoying, isn't it? These internet.
It is.
Oh, I get it here, man. I live near an airport in here, this Greater London, Heathrow. Fucking, I live near the biggest airport in the UK, Terminal 5, Heathrow, yeah. And any internet that I buy is the same. Like any internet provider, they're all the same problems.
Yeah. So while he's trying to pull that up for you, Rogue, it sounds to me like your case is pretty much just directly tied to the whole Terry stop and all that they want to impose on anybody that they see, and that's pretty much generally how a lot of these stops go down. Especially when it comes to some basic rights, right to assemble, right to press, you're there. They just see you and want to just come and touch you.
All right, one sec. All right, so tell me if you can hear it, okay?
Much better.
Yeah, that's perfect.
All of us can be influenced through psychological techniques. For example, if I say, don't think of a black cat, what do? You think of a black cat because the command, think of a black cat, was there in the sentence. Techniques like this can be used to influence people's thoughts, behavior, even their memory. Excuse me, sir. We're doing a documentary on the underground. Can I ask you what stop you're getting off at? Warren Street. Pardon? Warren Street. Warren Street, excellent. Can I sit with you just for 2 seconds? All right. Yeah, the documentary is sort of about how easily trains of thought can become confused, and you can have a piece of information that you know that you should know, and suddenly it's just literally just gone from your mind like that. Sorry, what was the stop you were getting off at? Look at me, what was the stop you were getting off at? You said up there. What was it?
Just trying to find it at the moment.
Look, you got it. What is it?
Warren Street.
Warren Street, very good.
I don't know what he did. He just sort of got, and then I couldn't remember where I was supposed to be getting off at.
Can I ask you what stop you're getting off at? Houston.
Sorry, Rogue, are you able to play the whole thing, do you think, or do you have to stop and discuss over it?
Yes, it's wise to stop it every once in a while.
Copyright, innit? Be careful.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not too much worried about it, but yeah, we can stop and discuss it. But and basically, you'll see in the next couple of instances that he does this, he'll use certain words in the sentence like don't think, or watch, you'll see. I'll point it out when I spot it, but you'll see these words that he uses. Go ahead.
You know when you have something on the tip of your tongue and you know that you should know what it is, and it just goes. So now if you think about it, what stop thinking about it now? What stop were you going to get off at? What stop thinking about it now? What was it?
It's just
What is it? Leicester Square? I'm sorry.
It's just my tongue, but I can't remember where it is. It's near Central.
Yeah. Or King's Cross?
I can see the sign.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
Is that weird?
Yeah.
Oh, there it is. What is it?
Eastern.
Houston. What was that like? That's right.
Very strange. I've got very good memories. I can't remember.
It was on the tip of your tongue, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Can Actually, what stop are you getting off at?
Charing Cross.
Charing Cross. What are you going to do there? Anything interesting?
Take the train.
Take the train. Excellent. Yeah, so this is just for 2 seconds. It's a documentary about how easily trains of thought can become confused. You can look at the signs, it just kind of literally would go past too quickly to really spot what it says. And when you think about it, it's just gone far too quickly. And so if you really think about it now, what stop thinking about it now? What stop thinking about it when you're getting off at? What's the stop?
Charing Cross.
Charing Cross. Excellent. All right. The stop you're getting off at was
Archway.
Archway. Excellent. Okay. And you're visiting a friend there.
Yeah, visiting a friend there.
Excellent. Okay. Have you got a good
All right.
memory?
Stop right there for a minute.
Yeah, you got a good memory.
Go ahead and stop it.
So, what stop? Thinking about it now. What
Stop the video.
Thinking about it now. What stop are you getting off at?
Futoy.
What's going on?
Can you stop it?
What's on?
Do you remember why you're going?
Uh-oh.
To visit friends.
Visit a friend. And where is it? What stop? Is that weird? It must be strange.
Sorry, did you say something?
Yeah. Rogue was trying to tell you to stop it for a minute.
Oh, sorry, I didn't hear you. Couldn't hear you.
Gotcha.
No, that's fine. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. It's
I mean, he was
pretty much
repeating
at the end
himself
there.
backwards,
Pretty much
wasn't
at
he,
the
Rogue?
end
He
there
was trying
anyway.
to,
Yeah, we got the
confuse
got the
their
gist of
brain.
it. Yeah.
Do you want me
yeah.
to? Do you want me to continue, or will I take it down? What do you want, Rogue?
No, that's fine. It was pretty much there at the end anyway.
All right.
But can you guys hear me okay?
No problem. Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, because my shit's getting choppy. But basically, during the video there, what you were seeing was he was using that phrase, what stop thinking about it? What stop thinking about it? If you go back and you watch, you'll see him as he's passing his hand over.
Confusing their
He
brain.
was like, what stop? And then right after he was like thinking about it. So at first you wouldn't really catch it because it sounds like he's, saying, hey, thinking about it, what stop are you getting off at? Thinking about it, what stop, you know what I mean? But it's those series of words. And
It
and
jumbled
this
their
guy's
brains.
right, and that's exactly what it is. And he's done this for years and years, and he's got so many funny tricks that he'll do. He'll cut pieces of paper in the shape of like dollar bills,
Yeah.
and he'll go in and he'll pay and he'll buy a $2,000 ring with pieces of worthless white paper, dude. You know what I mean? Like, of course he
clever,
doesn't,
isn't he?
get away with it. He just does it to show, but he gives the shit back or whatever. But just the stuff he could do, because the mind is made to be programmed. It's like
Yeah.
a computer,
You're
and there's certain shortcuts that people can use.
But we're retraining ours, aren't we, Rogue? We've retrained our brains for the freedom.
Right.
We've gone against the
Exactly.
establishment. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, even if you just talk to like public relations people, people that do marketing and advertising and stuff, they'll tell you that people have like certain trigger words, like certain words that they'll hear that will make them want to buy.
I'll tell you
just
what,
like
though,
different stuff,
money.
man. It's just the way we're wired, right?
Yeah.
None of us
Money,
are
Rogue.
above it, right?
Yeah.
Money.
It's not like any
Apparently,
of us
big
can't
trigger.
be fooled or brainwashed.
yeah. Apparently, there's colors that can also do that. Like, for example, orange and lime green are meant to make you hungry.
Oh, wow. But money, I believe if you say money to people, it changes everything. If you mention money or show them money, or like if you physically have it in your hand, or they see it, it will change someone very quickly from anything they're doing. Whatever size of money you have, it can change the whole complexion of things. And I don't live by money. For me, I believe money is the root to all evil. But But I see that every day money
Well,
and alcohol here is promoted so much in the
well,
UK, like it's a good thing, yeah.
we have to
But
have some sort of system of barter, though, you know, or
escapism, as they call it, but it's not. It's wrong. Like obviously, I believe, yeah, that the movement is powerful, but I obviously am quite a religious guy anyway, so I strip things back and I live a very simple life. And I believe if more people live like that, you'd have more money, you'd save more, and you'd live a more of a stress-free life. If you not just the 1A amendment auditors and the ones in the UK, US, Australia, whatever. If you strip it back and have a bit of a belief in a religion, I believe that can help your life as well, in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. But right now, gentlemen, I'm gonna get out of here. So thank you for
Love, bro.
coming up.
hey, thanks for the live, Rogue.
And
Yep,
thanks for
pleasure seeing you guys. I will give
the
everybody,
teaching.
of
Thank
course,
you.
brother man. I will update everybody
Keep up the good
on
work,
the
Rogue.
case
I'm always
when
So,
here,
I
man.
know more. Play rule in
all
my
right. So,
favor. Yep.
is there going to be more? Like, I mean, are you going to go back and discuss more stuff, or?
No, now we're waiting on the ruling from the panel of judges. And then I guess if I don't like it, I can ask for a ruling in bank with all of the judges sitting, or I could, possibly appeal it to the Supreme Court. I guess maybe, but I don't
Keep
know
going,
if.
man.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd have the money for that, but we'll see. I got a lot of other cases that I'm working on. I still got two more cases in the courts right now in South Carolina.
Yeah, it's
Uh,
hard.
yep, the judge in the South Carolina case, the magistrate judge just recommended that they deny the city's motion to dismiss, which is great news.
Hmm.
Yep.
So, but yeah, it's freaking hard, man.
Really,
You win.
really.
Yeah, you win some stuff here and there, and you lose a whole bunch because it's not set up for us really.
You
So,
keep fighting that
I
good
mean,
fight, Rogue. You're trying your best, man, and you're putting a lot
yeah,
of
buddy.
effort in.
Yeah, man.
File
But
them motions, brother. File them motions.
how
Yep.
come it's obvious to all us that what happened to you was wrong and you were in the right? It's so
Still got
obvious.
to fight it, though.
You would think it's obvious, right? You see two
Right.
guys, they're citizens, they walk into the building, they're recording, no harm, they're talking to themselves, they're not bothering anybody, right? No,
Right.
no, call the police. This is a
It's
code
ridiculous.
3 alarm, baby.
Yeah.
Keep going, man.
That's
Jiminy.
crazy.
Yeah,
You
it's
just
All
got
right,
to
crazy.
keep
brother man.
grinding. God
All
bless
right.
you,
All right.
man.
Thanks, Rogue.
Later.
Stay strong, brother.
Later,
Thank you for
everybody.
letting me on, Rogue.
Have
Thank
a
you for
good
your
one.
time, man.
Of course. Thanks,
Please
guys.
check that video out if you got time, my brother. I know you're busy.
Yeah, I'll take a look at it, buddy.
You will love it. God bless you. It de-stress